Okay guys, I'm now going to be doing probably one of the most dangerous parts of the job. Now in my case, okay. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'll show you. Here is the wires, these ones here, that's a negative. That red and orange is a positive, taped off. Those will be going to, the positive will go to that bus bar, and the negative will go to that bus bar. That will be the first solar panel to be hooked up in the off-grid tiny house. That, because that one's shorter, I know it's the panel that's right here on the roof. The one with the longer wire obviously is there because I have a little more wire, as you can see down there. So now it is, I'm gonna go to a window where we have plenty of sun right now, which makes this kind of tricky. Because there's sun, that means there's power in those lines right now. Okay? I have gloves on, but this is gonna be tricky. I have to take the tape off the ends of the wires, carefully wire them into the bus bar as fast as possible. Well, actually, I'll just take my time one by one. I'll do the negative first, always. And once that's there, I can put the positive in. Now, all the switches are off, in the off position. I don't want them on until the batteries are hooked up. And I've set the right settings on my PWM controllers. I know this one's set already because that's the one I used at the house. You guys see me use that on the blue power pack, which is right over there. So, and not only that, okay, once I have those wired in, I'm gonna have excess wire to deal with, because I'm not gonna cut it. I don't want to shorten my lengths up just in case. So what I have to do then is I'm gonna have to coil this stuff up carefully and screw it to the ceiling in between these two switches, just to keep the rat's nest of wire up out of the way and, you know, contained a little bit. And I have to do that twice because I have this long one to do next. Then this is where it gets a little tricky, guys. On my blue power pack, I have access to the battery poles, positive and negative, right there, easy access, with an awesome switch on there, which means right now these have no juice to them. As soon as I turn that on, they do. However, my old ancient model, which is actually my dad's, and he's just gonna say, here, take it and let it be powered, so which is kind of cool. I tried running the radio in here while the inverter was charging my old camera, and apparently that inverter inside of there gives off a lot of interference with radio signals, because I could not get a signal, which is kind of frightening to me. But anyway, see, notice on this guy how there's no poles like there is on the blue one. So how do you suggest I power this? Well, I have to use the jumper cable parts to hook up to my solar panel. And and a lot of you are gonna say, what? Well, this is the only connection directly to the battery. It's meant for jumping cars, but I'm sure it'll work both ways, right? So, using jumper cables, which I have to mount to the inside of here somewhere, they need to be, I'm just going to mount them and then they'll be clamped onto the positive and negative, and that's how they'll be fastened. So you see why I removed those cheap clamps that were on those wires. So it's gonna be interesting, guys. I'm gonna figure this out a little bit and then I will get back to you on camera and go from there. I will film everything, me doing the solar and everything like that, but it's gonna be tricky because once I have the solar hooked up, the wires fastened up there so they're out of the way and it doesn't look like a rat's nest, then I can concentrate on moving this entire thing back in place against the wall, flush, on my 2x4s that have been knocked all over the place because I've moved it out to work on it. And then I have to put the batteries this way in there across these two 2x4s and hook them up. So obviously the packs have to come off my blue guy and the contents out of there too. And so I got a little bit of prep work to do here, so I will get back to you once I got this all done up.